Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Chalk Talk here on DK Pittsburgh Sports. Kaleb Johnson took a pretty big step forward in the second preseason game. Steelers 17-14 loss to the Buccaneers. But again, win-loss results in preseason absolutely do not matter. If you're taking any stock in that, please rethink the way you think about the game because this kind of stuff is what actually matters. The players who are going to be part of this team in 2025, making strides, getting better as the season grows closer. That's what you want to see, and this is exactly what we saw from Kaleb Johnson. So, got a few different plays to break down here. Look at the way that he read them, the way he reacted to them, and why it's encouraging. Obviously, Arthur Smith, known to use a lot of wide zone in his offense, both with the Steelers and in previous offenses last year, used inside zone more than wide zone, but a lot of that is who he had at running back. I would expect to see more wide zone this year because Kaleb Johnson ran a really good amount of that at Iowa and looks really good, and this first run that I've got here is a big reason why. So wide zone here, I've taught this on the channel here before. We're getting this kick out block right here, and then really what Johnson is going to read with after this kick out block is going to read the leverage of every down lineman from left to right. So he's going to read this guy first, and he's going to read this guy next, and he's going to read this guy next, and then you make your cut based off of the leverage that your offensive linemen have. Now, it's also taught that you have to know where you're going by your third step and then make your cut by your fifth step. So let's count steps here. 1, 2, 3. So Kaleb should know where he's going to go now by the time he hits his third step. And based off of what we see, we have inside leverage here. This is pretty much inside leverage and we're forcing it. We got inside leverage here. So you're not going to bounce this to the outside because one of those defenders is going to get off the block, and yeah, that's not a good thing. So what you really want to do is then read, okay, well, here we are. What's this guy going to be doing? And that's pretty much where his eyes are going to go and where he's going to make his cut. Now, fifth step, that's where he makes his cut right there. That's his fifth step. He knows where he's going. And the great thing about that is that he knows he's cutting back. He knows he's not going to the outside. So it's really cut back through this lane or it's cut all the way back across. Those are your two options by the time you're deciding to make your cut. If you're going to cut back, which that is one of the things that again, which is great about wide zone, is that it gives the running back multiple options, and he can either, depending on the leverage, he can continue to go on this track, or when you get to this point, okay, I know I'm cutting back, you cut back, and then you have the vision and the ability to react so that you can either, okay, I know I'm going to go straight up here or I'm going to cut back here across. And at that point, you kind of would just want to, again, just trust your instincts. That's what Mike Tomlin wanted him to do. Great little cut block there by Connor Hayward, cutting the legs out from underneath the defender, because that helps seal this off and gives Kaleb a really good running cutback lane right there, which is what he hits. That's where he goes, and he ends up getting 14 yards. So, again, you can sit there as a running back and you can count, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I need to know where I'm going, and I'm cutting back. Okay, 5. The thing is, Kaleb has done this a number of times, even in college, and a lot of those details carry over. So again, it's just trust your instincts. Okay, here on this, I should know where I'm going by now. And I know that based off of the leverage that I see, inside leverage, that I'm going to be cutting this back one way or the other. I'm cutting this back either here or I'm cutting this back over here. Either way, I'm cutting back, put a foot in the ground and go. And you have to be really light on your feet in order to do this, especially for being a bigger back. You have to be light on your feet, have really good footwork. And this is great stuff from Kaleb because, again, he puts the foot in the ground and he immediately gets north. That's the one thing that we at least that I saw watching his Iowa tape, is that whenever he would decide to make a cut, he would get north in a hurry. And the great thing is that when you're also light on your feet, you can know, okay, most likely, because again, he gets north there, and then even by the time that he's getting to this stage right here where he's running straight up, this has developed even more where the cutback is really, really easy, where it's just right back there. And that's exactly where he goes. So really, really great read from Kaleb. Being light on your feet, good stuff here. This is another wide zone play here, and this one did not go so well. So I wanted to kind of explain again. Okay, did Kaleb do the right thing here? So again, we're gonna read. We're gonna get the kick out block here, and then we're gonna read. Defender to defender. We're just gonna keep reading this straight across, and we need to know where we're going by the time we get to our third step. So 1, 2, 3. What's the leverage look like? Okay, well, I mean, if this were blocked up, where he had a bit of a reach here, where he were able to reach to go on this side, this would be the lane. You would just try to run straight through that as quickly as you possibly could. That's not the case. We have inside leverage here. We would like to have inside leverage over here, so by the time the fifth step comes, this should be cutting straight up this way. And it's a little slow. Kaleb, we didn't see that same type of, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should just be straight cut up. Because if he keeps going on this track, this defender is going to jump off of that block because he has the outside leverage on the blocker, and he's just going to eat that alive. So, and again, this is the first defender we're reading because he's the first down defender. That is what you read when you're running wide zone. You're going to read. Now, your aiming point in wide zone is right here. Or sometimes it's taught that if you have a ghost tight end that's right here, and it's the outside hip of the ghost tight end. So that would be like your aiming point. But you are reading your down defender. And with the angle, you can see, that's the angle that he's going at. But you have to read. You have to see, what's this guy doing? He was the first down defender. See, what I'd like to see is just get north. Get north. And he takes a couple of little steps there. Again, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get north right now. And instead, you kind of get this extra little 6, 7, like 6th and 7th step. And then he gets north. Now, he makes the right read. And again, if this is better sealed off on the back end, which is what you want to do in wide zone, then this lane would be there. The lane's not there. Dylan Cook, not a great rep from him. And this ends up getting stuffed. But while Johnson was a little slow to read it, he made the right read. I'd like to see the read a little faster, but also I don't think that really makes much of a difference whenever your left tackle that's supposed to be sealing this off is literally trying to block with his back. So it ends up not working out great. I put this more on the blocking than I do on the runner. Again, would like to see what we saw the first time, on that first run. By the time you get to your fifth step, you're either continuing to go on that same track or you are cutting back, and then you have the ability to then weave wherever you need to go. This took a little bit too long. Would like to see a cut there. And if the cut goes there, then maybe if he just accelerates and goes through that, then maybe he can get there before that defender gets there. I doubt it. But at that point, whenever you decide to get north, lower your head, and get as many yards as you can. Because you know the run's not going to work out. So, right read from Kaleb here. All right, this right here is a inside zone with a sift block. Good stuff here from Kaleb as well. Inside zone, we get the two double teams right here. No, this is not duo. Duo, you'd be reading the play side linebacker and then either going straight up the middle or you'd be bouncing this to the outside depending on what the play side linebacker is doing. This is because of that. This is clearly inside zone. And again, you have this sift block going around. So when you are running inside zone, your first read is the first down defender on the play side of the center. Okay, so that's his first read. And you, again, just as it is in outside zone or wide zone, you make your reads based off of the leverage that you see. So this is the first defender he's going to read, so that's 1. And then the second defender he's going to read is 2 as you go back across, because you have the sift block coming across, so that is where your leverage is going to go. Now, reading this first defender, you're not going outside of him, so you're definitely going to be going to the inside. Okay? Now, second defender is right there, is being double teamed, and clearly the leverage is on this side, right? So Johnson's making the right read here. 1, 2, 3. And again, the one thing with inside zone is that you need to know where you're going by, or you need to make your cut by your third step. So it's a lot quicker. It's a lot faster of a read than wide zone is, because you have to get north in a hurry. And the great thing here is that they get a really, really good, they get 2 really great blocks on those 2 defenders that Kaleb has to read. And because of this first step, I mean, if you notice, watch the first step of the running back, how wide he turns. Let's go back and watch how wide he turns on a wide zone run. Let's go all the way back to the first play. Oh, wait, I'm going the wrong way. Let's go back to the first play. Look at how wide he turns, right? These are wide steps. So initially, this looks like wide zone to the linebackers. Linebackers are watching the body language of the running back. And you get this weak side linebacker to then go over to this side because of that first step. And the great thing is that allows the linebacker to get lost in the wash here. And then it's just an easy cutback lane. Now, the good thing is that the linebacker recovers quickly enough to get his hand on Kaleb, but Kaleb gets a good easy 9 yards on this run. So this is, number 1, really well executed blocking on the inside zone. And then again, Kaleb knowing where he's going, reading this very easily. Again, his eyes immediately go, where's this guy? Okay, we've got inside leverage on him. Then it's going back. You can even see the head turn. That's the great thing about having the stripes on the helmet. So you can see where the guy is looking. By this time, he knows he's cutting back. Where's this leverage? Okay, we have inside leverage on him. I'm just going straight up. I'm going to get north, and I'm going to get as many yards as possible. So that's a really great run from Kaleb again. This one, we're going wide zone again. We have the motion coming across, hoping to take some of the defenders with it. And again, we're going to read who's the first down defender. We're reading this. We're going to read leverage on him. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Need to know where we're going. Okay. I would guess we've got inside leverage, so I'm going to cut to the inside. That's exactly what he does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get our cut back. So cutting back on the 5th step, that's good. And then again, you're just reading your leverage at that point. You're reading every down defender back across. This guy, then this guy, then this guy. You're just going back. Now I understand this guy's not down, but he's up on the line of scrimmage. So you're going to keep reading that leverage back. Cutting back, getting north. And if that receiver, if Robert Woods could have gotten there just a little sooner, then Kaleb could have just gone north on that. Now he has to kind of step around that. I probably prefer to see, now I understand this guy's right here, prefer to see, hey, just get north. Just get north. You know, and I understand, when you are in this space, you look for blockers. And here he sees Hurleman. Hurleman can possibly get to this guy, so he's just going to follow blockers. That doesn't work out, so he has to go around him. Again, at that point, it's already a successful run. Just from watching some of the best running backs, some of the best running backs find ways to just get north. Not every run has to be a home run. Just get north. And here I'd like to see, okay, once you get past this guy, put a foot in the ground, go forward. Maybe you can stiff arm this guy. You're a big, strong back, maybe do that. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and tell Kaleb how to run the ball. But hey, already a good run. Again, making the right reads, makes a play. Again, I think he picks up 9 yards here. This is another really good run from Kaleb. And again, very encouraging based off of what we saw in Jacksonville. Last run here, another inside zone. We're gonna read this defender first, this defender second, because play side is over here. We're going to this side. That's the play side. Got leverage here. Got leverage there. Now, you could possibly say, hey, we have a little bit of inside leverage here just from 72 and what he's doing. However, with 79 and 87 both crashing down in this way, the read is right here to just bounce this to this side. And again, the great thing here is that Robert Woods is down and he's throwing that block. So we then can get on the outside of that and then get north. This is what I'm talking about. You get north. You go from the 10 to the 5, maybe down to the 4, just from, hey, I'm not going to try to beat this guy to the outside, and when I'm just going to get north, lower my shoulder, move, a fall forward. You always get extra yards doing that. So really great run there from Kaleb. I thought this was a really great performance from him. 11 carries, 50 yards. But even outside of the totals, starting to see him look like a running back again, look like an actual runner, not looking like he's trying to think about what he's supposed to be doing. Just going out there, hey, we're running wide zone here. I need to know where I'm going by the 3rd step. I'm going to make my cut by the 5th step, if I'm cutting back, whatever. Inside zone, make your reads. Trust your ability as a running back. He's been doing this for a long time. When you look at, high school to college and everything, he's been doing this for a while now. I understand he's a rookie, but sometimes, with rookies, yeah, they have a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, it's just football. And so I think that's why Mike Tomlin said what he said. Just go out there, trust your instincts. They got them here. All right, they got him here. Trust them. So great stuff from Kaleb on this one. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with another Chalk Talk. Appreciate you tuning into this one. We'll see you later.